If God is so loving and so powerful, then why do you suffer so much? Why do innocent people get raked over the coals? What's going on? Doesn't God care? Or is he simply too weak to do anything about it? Is God disinterested? First part of the answer is, I do not know. And I can promise you in 1997, when I went out to Madison, Wisconsin, where my brother, younger brother, was a transplant surgeon, transplanting kidneys and livers, I went out there because his 7-year-old daughter had just been crushed in a car accident to death. And if you think that I'm going to go out, meet my brother, who's far more intelligent than I'll ever be, and explain to him why God allowed his 7-year-old daughter to be crushed by a pickup truck coming down the road at 55 miles an hour, why the babysitter didn't see the stop sign, ran the stop sign, and that pickup truck slammed to the side of the car, sending my 7-year-old niece to an early grave, I'm not going to do that, because that'd be lying. I do not know why God allowed evil and suffering. But come on, Cliffe, you got to think. Oh yeah, we do have to think. You're right. And one of my thoughts on is, the issue is this, which I think is very biblical. God chose to limit his power by creating us with a free will. Which means I can either pull out my wallet and give you money to eat lunch, or I can roll this hand into a fist, send it crashing into your handsome face. I am free to do either. And what the Bible teaches is in Genesis chapter 1, God created us in his image, which means we are not robots, we're not machines. And I like to walk, so if I stumble and fall off of this stage, I'm not going to pick myself up at the bottom and say, phew, I'm glad that's over with. That's determinism. That's fatalism. God creates us in his image, which means we're not robots, we're not machines, we're human beings created with a soul, a personality. But it also means we got a free will. And if we want to abuse our free will, we can go right ahead and do it. But there will be a day of judgment when God promises to hold us responsible for the free decisions that we have made. And that's why Joshua stands before the people of Israel and says, if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. So Genesis 1 says, God created this and God saw that it was good. And God created that and God saw that it was good. And you got to get the point, guys. When an author repeats and repeats and repeats a little phrase, obviously he's trying to get the point across. When God created, he did a good job. And that little phrase, God saw that it was good, is repeated and repeated and repeated in Genesis 1. But in Genesis chapter 3, we read how human beings rebelled against God. They didn't eat an apple. They ate some fruit. But that is symbolic of their rebellion against God. It's symbolic of sin. And why do I sin? I sin because I think I'm smarter than God, and I know it'll make me happier. So I'm going to do it my way instead of God's ways. Not because I'm trying to be evil. I'm not trying to be evil. I'm trying to be happy. My problem is I think I know how to make Cliffe happier than God knows. And that's basically what Adam and Eve did. We know what'll make us happier. We will define good and evil. We will assume godhood. And when they made that decision, that's where the train got off the track. That's where the arrow missed the mark, and things got ugly fast. Because when God steps back, chaos fills the gap. Now, what's one of the main points of the book of Job? One of the main points of the book of Job in the Old Testament is, life is unfair, God is fair. Don't get the two mixed up. Life is unfair, God is fair. Do not get the two mixed up. So when you suffer, if you clench your fist and wave it at God, that's misplaced anger. Misplaced anger. It's not God who's getting you. Rather, it's you're born into a cursed, unfair, messed up world. Life hurts. And to blame God is a cop-out. The same way if I hold back, slap you in the face, and then turn to you and say, God made me do it. That is a cop-out. I'm lying through my teeth to you. He gave me a free will. I am responsible for feeding you, or I am responsible for slapping you. God gave me that innate ability. That's part of why I believe we have a soul. Because you see, friends, if there is no God, you don't have a free will. If there is no God, you just are a chemical reaction between your two ears. That's all you are. And determinism wins the day. Fatalism wins the day. What will be, will be. What is. No, the Bible teaches we've been created in the image of God. We have a soul, and that means a rational mind, a free will, the ability to love or to hate or to be indifferent. We choose.